Today, we will seek the blessings of Sri Arunachaleshwara Swami, who is Paramashiva, manifested as the Agni Lingam, which is the element of fire.
Sabha Samudram Shirasa Namami. Namah Shivaya. The South houses a wonderful number of temples of great significance and relevance. Of these wonderful temples, the South is famous for the Panchabhuta Sthalas, which are famous Shiva temples which represent the five fundamental elements. Of these, the earth is represented by the Prithvi Lingam in the Ekamareshwara Swami temple in Kanchipuram, Tamil Nadu. Water is represented by the Jalalingam in Jambukeshwara Swami temple in Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu. Air is represented by the Vayu Lingam in Srikalahasti in Andhra Pradesh. Space or ether is represented by the Akasha Lingam in Chidambaram temple in Chidambaram, Tamil Nadu. And finally, we have the Agni Lingam, which is the element of fire, which is housed in Tiruvannamalai, Tamil Nadu. Let us understand the Mahatyam of the Agni Lingam. This was beautifully explained by Chaganti Garu in one of his pravachans. Why is this lingam known as the Agni Lingam? Well, the lingam does not radiate heat nor does it shine brightly. The lingam gets its name from the fact that the pradesham or the surroundings of the temple are so hot that a person stepping inside the pradesham or the pranganam of the temple starts sweating profusely and feels the heat. Shiv Bhagwan manifests himself as the Jnana Agni, which translates to the fire of the knowledge. This knowledge is the complete knowledge of the Paramatma, which radiates out as heat. The fire of this knowledge is so intense that it consumes the karma of the person who realizes this knowledge and frees that person from the karmic cycle. It is believed that stepping inside the Arunachaleshwara Kshetra is not really easy. A person who wishes to have the darshan of the Agni Lingam should surrender the arrogance or ego to Parameshwara. Parameshwara manifests himself in three forms in the Arunachaleshwara Kshetram. The first and the primary one is the Agni Lingam. The secondary one is the entire hill of Arunachalam known as Arunachalagiri, which is considered as the form of Shiva. It is said that there is a cave on the Arunachalagiri and there is a path from the temple that leads to the cave where Lord Shiva manifests himself in the third form, that is Dakshinamurti, who is in the state of a dhyana. The legend says reaching out to the cave is impossible and that there is a path leading from the temple to the cave, and many bhaktas have tried their way to reach out to the cave to get the glimpse of Lord Shiva. But no one could ever make it, including the great sage Ramana Maharshi. The legend also says that Paramashiva, after manifesting in the form of a lingam, has himself given the puja vidhanam and the names for Shiva Aradhana to Gautama Maharshi. Now, let us go inside the Arunachaleshwara temple and understand the relevance and significance of each of the structure of the temple and the katha associated with it. Before we take you to the kathas, we would like to extend our heartfelt credits to Nandur Srinivas Garu, who has beautifully explained the kathas and the structures of the temple. The first structure is the Rajagopuram, which is towards the east of the temple and is 217 meters tall. This Gopuram was constructed by the famous South Indian king Sri Krishna Devarayalu. The famous Tenali Ramakrishna belongs to the court of this king. When one enters the Gopuram, towards the left there is a Shakti Ganpati temple, next to which there is an idol of a famous saint Arunagiri Nathar, whose importance and relevance we would understand in the forthcoming kathas. Towards the left, we have the second famous structure, that is the Kambattu Ilayanar temple or the Stambhodava Kumaraswamy temple. The temple gets its name because this is that exact place where Kumaraswamy, also known as Kartikeya Bhagwan, is said to have emerged from a pillar, and a temple has been constructed around that pillar. There was a famous king who ruled that Kshetra during those times, and one day during his tour, he had come across the kirtans of Arunagirinathar. Arunagirinathar was a bhakta of Kumaraswamy. Impressed by his kirtans, the king replaces the court poet of that time, that is Sambandhar, with Arunagirinathar. Out of jealousy, Sambandhar, who was a great Kalima Bhakt, challenges Arunagirinathar for a duel of Kirtan. The condition of the contest was that Sambandhar had to make Kalima appear because of his Kirtans, and Arunagirinathar had to make Kumaraswamy appear with his Kirtans. Due to the arrogance of Sambandhar, Kalima did not appear, but impressed by the great bhakti of Arunagirinathar, Kumaraswamy appears from that pillar. There is a famous mandapa behind this temple known as the Valaikapu Mandapam, which is famous for hosting one of the famous Utsavas of Arunachaleshwara temple, which we will be covering towards the end of the video. Stay tuned to us. There is a Tirtham, otherwise known as Kund, next to the temple known as the Shiv Ganga Tirtham. According to Puranas, this Tirtham had water, but during the course of time, the water had dried up. To retain the importance and relevance of this Tirtham, so the people of this Kshetra started digging the place, and to their surprise, they found water underneath. This fact highlights the importance and relevance of the Puranas. Towards the right, we have the thousand pillar mandapam, again constructed by Sri Krishna Devarayalu. This place was constructed to protect the people during calamities. This place is also a marvel of Indian architecture, as the pillars of this particular mandapam have Puranic kathas carved on them. The thousand pillar mandapam also houses the samadhi of a siddha and is known as the Patala Lingam. Next to the Patala Lingam, we have a big Nandi that is housed in a mandapam. This was constructed by Ballala Maharaj, who was a famous king and a great Shiv Bhakt. Arunachaleshwara temple has many Nandis, and the biggest Nandi is the first one. As one goes closer and closer to the deities, the Nandi's size grows smaller and smaller. As one walks from the Nandi, one encounters the next Gopuram, that is the Ballala Gopuram. This Gopuram was constructed by Ballala Maharaju. This king was a famous and a very great Shiv Bhakt. Ballala Maharaju and his queens wanted a son, and despite many years of tapasya, they did not get the blessing of a son. They never gave up and kept on praying to Lord Shiva to bless them with a son. Impressed by their bhakti, Lord Shiva appeared in the form of a great yogi to test them. Being great devotees of Lord Shiva, the king and the queens passed the test. Impressed by their devotion, the yogi, who was a Paramashiva himself, converts himself into a baby boy. And it is believed that Lord Shiva performs the yearly Pinda Pradhan of this king even till this date. Towards the right of this Gopuram, there is a Gopura Subramanyeshwara Swami Alayam, and towards the left, there is a Kalyana Sundareshwara temple, where weddings are performed to bless the couple a quarrel free married life. Let us now unfold the katha of Gopura Subramanyeshwara Swami temple. Arunagirinathar, whom we have been following closely, was a great Kumaraswamy Bhakta right from his childhood. And during the course of time, he gets deviated from the path of bhakti and gets addicted to bad habits. Realizing his follies through his sister and struck by intense grief, Arunagirinathar decides to commit suicide by jumping off this very Ballala Gopuram. But Lord Kumaraswamy has other plans, and in order to save his bhakta, the Lord appears with his arms stretched out to hold Arunagirinathar in this very place where now we have this alayam constructed. On entering the Gopuram, towards the left, there is a Kal Bhairav temple, and it is believed that Tipu Sultan wanted to conquer this particular temple, and Kal Bhairav drives away Tipu Sultan, and he had to face many ups and downs because of this adharma that he wanted to commit. This story can also be correlated to the Bhairav Baba in Kashi Vishwanath, where Bhairav Baba protects the Kshetram from the cruel intentions of the Mughal ruler Aurangzeb. The Kal Bhairav deity of this temple is so mesmerizing that it is a treat to the Kal Bhairav Upasaks. Close to this, there is a Brahma Tirtham, which is a very sacred Tirtham as per the Puranic lore. In front of this, there is the Brahmalingam, and this is the exact spot from where the sacred Giri Pradakshina of the Arunachaleshwara Kshetram is performed. Talking about the sacred Giri Pradakshina, the Giri Pradakshina spans around 14 kilometers, covering 44 energy points surrounding the Arunachalagiri hill. And the Arunachalagiri hill takes the form of the divine Sri Chakra. And towards the left, we have the South Gopuram, and towards the right, we have the North Gopuram, also known as Ammani Amman Gopuram. Ammani Amman was also a revered Shiv bhakt, and she constructed this very Gopuram from the donations she collected. Due to the grace of Paramashiva, she had the divine power of knowing the wealth of each household. She had gone to collect donations and had never returned empty handed. Then comes the Kili Gopuram. Kili means parrot, and there is a katha that is associated with this parrot. Arunagirinathar had this divine power of changing forms, and out of bhakti, he assumed a form of parrot where he flies over the jungle every day to fetch fresh flowers for Kumaraswamy. Sambandhar notices this act and decides to burn down Arunagirinathar's body out of rage because Sambandhar gets replaced by Arunagirinathar as a court poet. It is believed that Arunagirinathar assumes the form of a parrot to sing kirtans for his beloved Kumaraswamy till this date. During our visit to the Kshetram for the darshan, while standing in the queue, we were lucky enough to witness the chirping of parrots around this Gopuram. And while entering the Gopuram, towards the right, there is a Mohini statue, and it is said that one should surrender all the attachment to Mohini Devi while entering the temple and should not look at her while leaving the temple. After entering the Kili Gopuram, there is a spot in front of a tree, and when one stands on that spot and looks around, one can witness all the 9 Gopurams of this Kshetra. On starting the Pradakshina from this spot, one encounters a powerful mandapam known as the Arunagiri Yogi Mandapam. This mandapam is the starting point of a spiritual path that leads to the cave on the Arunagiri hill where Dakshinamurti is said to be performing his dhyan. Moving around, there is a small and a large Gopuram. The large Gopuram is known as the Pei Gopuram, and in the vicinity of the small Gopuram, there are 3 temples. The first is the Pada Mandapam. This is that exact spot where Paramashiva sets his foot on this kshetram to appear in the form of the Agni Lingam. The second is the Stula Sukshma temple. Here, Shiva manifests himself in a Sukshma, that is a small form, and performing 11 Pradakshinas around this temple is equivalent to performing the powerful Giri Pradakshina. The third is the powerful Apitakuchamba temple. Here, Ma Parvati, the consort of Paramashiva, manifests as Apitakuchamba Amma and is housed in this temple. There are 6 Kumaraswamy temples in this Kshetram and 8 Ganapati temples in the Kshetram. Of those 8 Ganapati temples, one is the Sukshma Ganpati, and it is so Sukshma that an ordinary man cannot locate this Ganpati. Of these 6 Kumaraswamy temples of this Kshetram, one of them is known as Pichai Ilayanar, who is considered as a god of health. And we finally have the most awaited part, that is the Arunachaleshwara Garbhalayam. The Garbhalayam houses Paramashiva in the form of Agni Lingam, and having the darshan and witnessing the Agni Lingam was truly a blessing. And around the walls of the Garbhalayam, we have Dakshinamurti, Lingodbhava Murti and Durga Ma. Now, coming to the 3 famous Utsavas of Arunachaleshwara temple. The first is the famous Bangals Utsavam, where Devi Ma is brought and seated on the Valayakapu Mandapam and bangles are offered to her. The second is the Deepotsavam that is held during the Kartika Masam. And the third is the Pranaykalotsavam that is held for Paramashiva and Ma Parvati. And these Utsavas are performed by the Archakas of this temple.
Thank you for listening till the very end of this video patiently. We tried to cover as many aspects of this temple as possible. If you like this video and want more such content from us, please do like, share and subscribe. It will motivate us to bring more such videos to you. Radhe Radhe.